Stokely Carmichael, born in Trinidad in 1941, became a pivotal figure in the Black freedom struggle. Migrating to the United States at age 11, he encountered the harsh realities of racial segregation. This experience profoundly shaped his worldview. He excelled academically, attending the Bronx High School of Science before enrolling at Howard University. Howard, a hub of Black intellectual thought, further politicized Carmichael. He joined the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee, or SNCC, in 1960. This marked the beginning of his extraordinary journey as a civil rights activist. Carmichael's commitment to social justice deepened through his participation in the Freedom Rides of 1961. The Freedom Rides, aimed at challenging segregation on interstate buses, exposed the brutal resistance to racial equality in the American South. Carmichael faced numerous arrests and witnessed firsthand the violence inflicted upon Black Americans seeking basic citizenship rights. His experiences during the Freedom Rides solidified his commitment to dismantling Jim Crow. Carmichael, alongside other SNCC activists, risked their lives for the cause of freedom. These experiences laid the groundwork for his later embrace of Black power. Stokely Carmichael's experiences in the Deep South, particularly in Mississippi, proved transformative. He worked tirelessly as a SNCC field organizer, registering Black voters and challenging white supremacy. Carmichael's work in Mississippi brought him face to face with the limitations of nonviolence in the face of unrelenting racial terror. He became disillusioned with the pace of change and the reluctance of the federal government to intervene decisively. The murder of 3 civil rights workers in Mississippi in 1964, a case that shook the nation, further radicalized Carmichael. He began to question the efficacy of integration as a goal. Carmichael's growing frustration with the limitations of the civil rights movement coincided with his increasing interest in Black nationalist thought. He found inspiration in the teachings of Malcolm X, who advocated for Black self-determination and self-defense. In 1966, during the March Against Fear in Mississippi, Carmichael popularized the phrase, "Black Power." This became a rallying cry for those who felt that the civil rights movement had not gone far enough in addressing the systemic nature of racism. By 1967, Stokely Carmichael had become one of the most prominent and controversial figures in the United States. His advocacy of Black power, while electrifying to many, drew sharp criticism from both white and Black audiences. Feeling increasingly alienated from the political climate in the U.S., Carmichael made a pivotal decision to relocate to Africa. He settled in Guinea in 1969, where he found a more receptive environment for his Pan-Africanist ideals. Carmichael, who changed his name to Kwame Ture in honor of Ghanaian leader Kwame Nkrumah and Guinean President Ahmed Sekou Toure, immersed himself in Pan-African politics. He became a close confidant of President Toure and worked tirelessly to build solidarity among African nations. Toure also dedicated himself to the All-African People's Revolutionary Party, or AAPRP, an organization committed to Pan-African liberation and socialist principles. He spent the rest of his life advocating for the global liberation of people of African descent. Toure's time in Africa allowed him to put his Pan-Africanist beliefs into practice. He worked to build bridges between the African continent and the African diaspora. Stokely Carmichael, later known as Kwame Ture, left behind a complex and often contested legacy. His uncompromising stance against racism and his articulation of Black power remain central to understanding the trajectory of the Black freedom struggle. Carmichael's emphasis on Black self-reliance, economic empowerment, and cultural pride resonated deeply with Black communities across the United States and beyond. His ideas helped to inspire the Black arts movement, the Black studies movement, and a global resurgence of Black consciousness. However, Carmichael's legacy remains intertwined with controversy. Critics often point to his inflammatory rhetoric and his embrace of revolutionary violence as detrimental to the cause of racial equality. Others criticize his later embrace of authoritarian leaders in Africa and his perceived anti-Semitism. Despite the controversies, Stokely Carmichael's impact on the Black freedom struggle is undeniable. He helped to shift the focus of the movement from integration to Black liberation, and his ideas continue to influence activists and scholars today.